myself there. Okay. So we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about 3 keys to losing weight forever without having to eat, like a bodybuilder or, self-sabotage ourselves. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is 9 key mindsets slash beliefs that can a lot of time keep us stuck when it comes to our weight loss journey. Okay. So I'm gonna go close that off there. Okay, perfect. So jumping into this year, first and foremost, my goal for you guys today is I want to change the way you think about this weight loss battle. Okay, because here's the thing, when it comes to making this weight loss battle, a lot of time when you look online and everything, right? Like they always promote it and show it to be like it's such an easy thing, right? But in reality, if it was actually as easy as they always promote it, like 90% of people who lose their weight wouldn't be gaining it back, right? So it's like there's something else going on here, right? It's not as easy as just taking a pill or whatever it may be. So I want to help you guys transform the way you think about your weight loss journey because I have a core belief that everything externally all comes from internally. Okay? Like the saying goes, he who says he can. He who says he can't. Okay? So let's jump into this here. Okay. So also you're gonna want to wait till the end because I got a few goodies for you guys as well. But anyways, why is this so important? All right. So again, number one, unless like you're a bodybuilder, right? Bodybuilders, yes, they got to eat the chicken and broccoli. They got to do the hardcore training because that's how they get the super low body fat, right? But unless you want to be a bodybuilder, like the chicken and broccoli lifestyle, odds are it's just not permanent long term, right? Now the next thing is our mindset is everything. Oftentimes we will trap ourselves in these boxes and these prisons, and it's all just based off our belief system. Okay, so I'm gonna really open you guys' minds up to that. And then lastly, it's just nothing else matters if we just don't get these things right. Okay, so who am I? Well, a lot of you probably already know who I am, but I'm Caden Hayward. I'm the one who runs Coach Hayward. I've been doing this. I've been running Coach Hayward, I think about since 2019 or so. I've been blessed to help transform hundreds of lives. As you guys can see in the top corner here, I've been on quite the journey myself. For me, when I first started, like it really came because I struggled a lot when I was about grade 7, growing up, and I don't know what happened, if it was puberty, but I was getting bullied, and it started to stick with me, and I started to get a lot of social anxiety. I started to get very insecure in my body, specifically my chest area, and it ruined like the next years all the way until about like grade 11, grade 12, and then I finally started to understand about the mindset and how we can actually change ourselves, and we're not destined to be with what we have. Just because you are the way you are now, it doesn't mean it's going to be like that for the rest of your life, right? Because if we really think about it, who we are now is an effect of what we've done in the past, right? So I used to be extremely insecure, as you can see right there, and it was not fun. And then eventually, over the years, I started to get a grip on things, and I bulked up, and I started to get actually a little overweight. I was getting very uncomfortable in my stomach. I think I was 222 pounds, and at that time, though, I had a lot more body fat than I wanted. And I remember that day was the day that I said I got to cross the line and stand. I got to drop this weight because I was pinching my stomach, and it was just bugging the hell out of me. And then that's me after. So that's me like lately in my recent pictures. So yeah, anyways, I've been able to bless like to help people at drug rehab centers with their health and their fitness, my clients, the whole 9 yards. So I'm excited to share stuff with you guys today. So my goal, I want to make sure that at the end of this training today, you never have to feel like you need to diet or let food control you for the rest of your life. Because if you think about it, if you don't have control of your food, you really don't have control of your weight, right? Because 89% of the time, for most people, when it comes to weight loss, it's from the food. Okay. The next thing here is, again, nobody wants to eat salads and do cardio every single day, guys. It's just, I don't do that stuff. I don't know when the last time I had a salad was. I'm not even kidding you. And the last thing is self-sabotage. A lot of the time, y'all, the biggest problem that we face is ourselves. Okay, so we're gonna end that cycle once and for all. So 1 second, I just want to make sure the audio, just testing something real quick. Okay, perfect. So how did I do it? Okay, right now we have about an 85% success rate in a market where only 10% of people succeed usually when it comes to weight loss. Okay, we've been able to help people get off alcohol and get completely sober, help them show up for their families. We've been able to help people quit their jobs and follow their dreams because they obtained the confidence to actually do so and the belief in themselves. We've helped people get off antidepressants. We've helped people save their lives from having a stroke. And that's what I want to share with you guys here. Like a lot of the framework and how really kind of I shape my training and help my clients. So when it comes to this, okay, 90% of people, if you look at statistics, around 90% of people who lose their weight gain it back. It is such a frustrating thing, okay? And here's the main things that I found over the years on why this usually is the way it is, okay? So there's three main reasons I'm going to break down with you guys today. This is where I really want you to have an open mind, okay? So, and again, if you have questions, I can't see them right now, but comment in the chat like what your questions are, and I'll get them after. So, there's three things, okay? Number one, no habits built. Number two, not in the right vehicle in the first place. And then number three is our belief system. Okay, so let's talk about the first one. Okay, the habits, the mental callus, I call it. So you know how like I don't know if you guys can see me, but the calluses we build on our hands from working out. Same thing with up here, the mental callus. Okay, so number one, I find is that sometimes, it's just we don't want it bad enough, right? It's like sometimes we might have goals and stuff that we want to accomplish, but we're just not at the threshold, which I'm going to explain to you soon, where we just don't want it bad enough. Okay. There's not enough pain to actually change. Okay. Number two, and this is why I talk about goals and setting goals and having that vision so much. Number two is that sometimes we battle with no delayed gratification and we have the wrong expectations. And again, you can't blame this on yourself because if you look around, which I'll explain here in the next slides, but a lot of time, there's a lot of lies out there. You can drop 50 pounds in a month by taking these pills and stuff, right? So if you go into your weight loss journey with the wrong expectations, over time, like every single time, you're going to get hit with like the reality of like, oh, shoot, I'm not going to drop 50 pounds this month. And then it's very discouraging, right? And you lose the motivation and then boom, nothing changes. And last thing too is the battle of consistency, guys. If you look at any successful person in history when it comes to any accomplishment in life, okay, sports, Olympics, business, fitness, whatever it is, okay, every single one of those people, they just kept showing up, okay. Odds are those people probably failed more than us, but they just refused to quit, okay, because failure means nothing as long as you refuse to quit, okay. So you gotta take a sip of water. So this is just the way it is, okay? When it comes to delayed gratification, right? Over here, as you can see my beautiful drawings, everybody, in the bottom left corner is delayed gratification, okay? But if you really look around us, like if you look at Amazon, if you look at TikTok, shake diets, pills, all the stuff, right? TV, everything that we want, we can get instantly, okay? It's always hitting our dopamine system. If you think about it, TikTok, right? You scroll, and if you ever think about like what a casino is like, right? You're pushing down, you're hitting the buttons or whatever people do when they're on the slot machines, and you're getting that instant hit of dopamine over and over and over again. So there's no actual delayed gratification. Okay. What delayed gratification means is that you have to put in the work, but you don't get the result instantly. But you have to have enough trust and belief that the result will happen. And as long as it's important enough, push through that. And then eventually, I promise you, even if it only lasts you 10 seconds, that result on the other side is worth every second of sweat, pain, or whatever you go through. I swear on my life, it's unbelievable when you get to that other side. So again, this is why we can't blame ourselves because this is the way society is nowadays, right? Every single thing we want is at our fingertips, and there's no teaching us delayed gratification, okay? And which is needed if we want to succeed on this weight loss journey. Because I can promise you guys two things on your fit journeys, okay? Number one, I can promise you that if you go to the gym today or tomorrow, you're not going to see any changes. And if you follow a meal planning or whatever it may be, and you go in a caloric deficit, you're not going to see any changes tomorrow by doing it for one day. That's number one promise. Number two, my next promise for you though, is that if you stick to that, I can't tell you exactly when, but I promise you this, if you just stick with it and you trust that process and you keep showing up, eventually you will get the results. And those are the two promises I can make you. So this is why I'm sure we've all heard the same before, but it's why we got to choose our hard, right? Because we can choose the easy of how society wants it right now, of like giving in the short-term temptations, the cookies when your coworker asks you to have a cookie, right? We can give in those short-term temptations all the time right now and not do anything hard when it comes to like working out, trying to get the food on track, meal prepping, stuff like that, right? And we can choose the easy way out. And trust me, I lived my whole life like that all the way up until, I really started to change my fitness, my health, and everything, right? Until I dove into this stuff. And let me just like backtrack. So it's like I chose the easy route where I come home, I watch TV all the time. I ate like shit, and I just and it was very easy, we could call it. But on the other side of that was hard, was pain, was me feeling insecure, me hating myself, me having no confidence, me having social anxiety. So it's like I chose the easy route, but then I got the hard later. Okay, so it's like let's say we don't take care of ourselves right now. Sure, that's fine. But on the other side, that in the future we pay the price. It's just the way it is. So that's why we got to choose our heart, right? Because if we choose the path now of getting the meal prep, showing up when we don't want to, okay, handling our emotions, facing our fears, our problems, pushing forward anyways. If you do that now, on the other side of that is a life full of confidence, shopping, whatever clothes you want to wear, going to the beach, not feeling insecure, not having to be scared every single time you go to the doctors. That is what you get on the other side. Okay, so we got to choose our heart because we can't sit in the middle. All right, because like the saying goes, guys, we're either growing or we're dying. Okay, so I hope you guys are liking this so far. Let's keep her going. Okay, so how did I do it? All right, because here's the thing. When I first started, I started working out, and there's a bunch of people who started like doing this stuff with me, with getting fit, losing weight, trying to gain muscle, all this stuff, right? And nowadays, if I really look back on, and if let's say like 50 plus people who in my lifetime over these past 7 8 years who would start working out or trying to get fit with me, only about I would say five kept going. Okay. And guess what? All those other five people are in the best shape of their lives. They're the most confident selves. They're the ones that people ask them for tips, ask them how they did it. And it's just because they showed up and they kept moving forward. Okay. They just did not quit. Okay. So ultimately, here's what I want to share with you guys. Okay. So this is how it happened. Story time. All right. We as people, we change when the pain of staying the same is worse than the pain of change. Okay, so let me repeat that. We will change when the pain of us staying the same gets worse than the pain of us having to put in the work and change. Okay, so if you look over me when I was, I put that to make myself feel better, but I was like, so it's funny, guys, because I've been very underweight and I've gained over 80 plus pounds, and then I've also lost over 30 pounds as well. So I've been up and down on that journey, and for me, the pain became too much. I was so sick and tired of feeling the way I felt, and I did not know the way out. Luckily, I had my school teacher who made me work out, and that was like the spark of me jumping down the rabbit hole of this stuff. Okay, so again, the pain. Okay, we only change when the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of us having to change. Okay, remember that. Never, never, ever forget that. Okay, and this is why our why and our goals, and we got to get deep with ourselves. We can't stay surface level. We need to be precise in knowing what we want. We can't just say, I want to be healthy, because then we don't actually have direction, right? We got to get real with ourselves. So here's what to do for number one. Number one, find your why. Okay, find your why. If you don't know how, just sit with yourself long enough and it will come to you. Okay. The biggest thing here, don't distract yourself. Don't procrastinate. Don't put it off. Sit with yourself. Find that why. Get deep, deep, deep and real with yourself and set the goals of where you want to go. Okay. Set the goals, write them down and see them consistently, because if not, it's a busy world and we're going to forget and we're going to fall right back to our old habits and our old ways. Guys, the biggest thing here in this training, every little piece I'm talking about here, it's all going to connect. Okay. So find your why, set your goals, write them down. Do not forget about them. Okay. Number two, do things that make you uncomfortable. Change, and I know it's a saying, but it's the real deal. Change will never happen when you're staying in your comfort zone. If you think about how a muscle is built, it's literally how that works. A muscle only gets built when it is stressed to the point where it has to adapt to the weight that it's pushing. If I want to get stronger, I can't lift the same old weight that I always do because my muscles won't change. If I want to get stronger, I have to stress the hell out of that muscle and I have to rip those little muscle fibers so that way it will change. Okay, just doing an audio test here real quick, guys, because I do not want to. Okay, perfect. So audio is good. So do the things that make you uncomfortable. Fall in love with being uncomfortable. Next, do the extra rep. Do the extra step. Do the extra step. Push yourself. Fall in love with pushing yourself. I had a client, she finally had this shift happen the other day. She didn't want to run. She went for a jog anyways. And then right at the end of her jog, she went for like extra. She pushed herself. She went even harder when her brain was telling her to quit. And here's a promise I can make you guys. If we ever worked out together, I would make you lift more weight than you could ever imagine that was possible. The reason why is because I know that a lot of it is just up here. Okay? We set these barriers for ourselves that are not actually real, but we just put ourselves in these boxes. Okay? So push through that. Prove it to yourself. Fall in love. There's so much power in that extra rep. Okay? Next one is key. Do it even when you don't feel like doing it. Okay? Because here is the thing. Our emotions, and this is something I had to learn with my patients, but our emotions will never get us to where we want to go. I don't know about you guys, but I do not want to wake up in the morning, okay? And when that alarm clock goes off, I want to stay in bed, I want to curl up, I want to go back to sleep and just forget about the world. Okay? Naturally, I think as people, we're just meant to be lazy. All right. So it's like if we let our emotions run our lives, we're all going to be all over the place. All right. So we cannot rely on our emotions to get us to where we want to go. Okay. And that's why we need routines, systems, and goals. Because on those days when you don't feel like showing up, that's when you need to show up for yourself. Because that's where true change happens, because you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. Okay. So stick to your promises, guys. That's the biggest confidence builder of your life, is just sticking to those promises. And I promise you, on the other side of doing it, you're going to feel so much better. Here's a little saying. I shared this with my clients this morning. 6 a.m. me doesn't want to wake up and study, go to work, and go to the gym. But 11 a.m. me wishes I would. Okay? It always happens that way. In the moment, we might not feel like doing it, but after, we always wish we did. So just do it anyways. Always think for the future you. Okay? Try to make them proud. Set them up for success. Okay? Moving on. Next one's refuse to quit mindset. Okay? Guys, think of this for a second. If you literally, like, if you think about some of you might have battled with your weight for these last 20 plus years. Okay? And that's okay, because who cares about the past? But if you think about it, imagine if the first time you tried to lose weight, you told yourself, I will never, ever, 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 ever quit. Okay? If maybe this diet that I'm following or this plan I'm following, maybe it doesn't work out, maybe it teaches me something I need to know and it gets me a little inch farther, and then you just keep finding ways to figure it out. Okay? The person who refuses to quit wins every single time, because the only way you lose is if you just quit and give up. Okay? And that's why, again, we can't rely on the motivation. Okay? We can't rely on our feelings, because that's going to make us want to quit. That's why we got to cross. Like when I say cross that line in the sand, guys, I mean cross that line in the sand. Okay? And again, remember, choose your heart. So refuse to quit mindset. Okay. This is what I do when it comes to Coach Hayward and building this dream. Like, I have a dream and purpose to help as many people as possible in life make this healthy lifestyle and just chase their dreams and their dream bodies and get healthy as possible. And I always tell myself, I will literally die before I ever quit, because this is just what I set my mind to. Okay. Cross that line in the sand, face that uncomfortable feeling, and go all in on yourself. Always bet on yourself. Okay. Now, next one is no more excuses, no victim mentality. The world happens for you, not against you. Okay? So if you think about it, if we're always like, oh, this happened to me, oh, I can't lose weight because of this, that doesn't serve you. It might sound nice, it might feel good, especially for our egos, but it's not going to serve us, right? But if I was to say, like, okay, well, Peyton, you messed up in your meal plan because you were lazy yesterday. Okay, I'm gonna be real with myself. Oh, because I gave into my temptations. Maybe I was hanging out with the wrong people and I ended up doing something I shouldn't have done. And it's okay, that's the reason why. It's not because I'm going this and this and this and having this victim mentality. So we gotta cut the victim mentality and just take responsibility for everything. Okay, everything that comes at you, everything that happens to you, take responsibility and just face that. Okay. So I hope you guys like this drawing. I was excited to share this one here. I did these drawings myself. All right, so number two, the vehicle. All right. I hope, by the way, I hope you guys are liking this. I hope you guys are liking it. So that's number one. Let's dive into number two, the vehicle. Okay. So here's the pattern. All right. This is where I hope this changes everything for you guys. So this is the pattern that happens over and over again when it comes to weight loss. Okay. Is that we take the wrong vehicle in the first place, and then we blame ourselves for, not being able to lose weight and messing up. But in reality, it's just the freaking vehicle that we're driving in the first place. Here's what I mean. Let's say somebody does keto, okay? And let's say, you love carbs, you have a social life, you like to have a few drinks here and there. Like literally keto just does not fit your lifestyle, okay? And let's say you want to keep that going long term, okay? Well, let's say someone does keto because they just want to lose weight short term and they got the dieting mindset of like, I just gotta do this short term and I'll get to my goal and then I can stop. Here's what happens. You do keto, odds are, majority of the time, but maybe not, because if your metabolism dropped or something like that, maybe you won't lose weight. But odds are if you do keto, you'll drop the weight really quickly because you're restricting yourself, you're gonna eat more protein, yada, 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 right? So you'll drop the weight very quickly. And then what happens though, is that let's say you can't sustain it, so you quit. And then eventually you gain the weight back because we go right back to our old habits and ways, right? And then what happens is that eventually we'll go right back to the dealership and we'll find the next, it's called shiny object syndrome. Okay. So it's like all these diets, all these pills, all these programs and stuff like that. It'll like be the next shiny thing. Oh, the paleo diet. Oh, let's do the military diet. Let's do the DASH diet. Let's do this, right? And it's like we're on it's a constant cycle. And it's a constant cycle. And the issue is because we're in the wrong vehicle. Okay. And odds are, guys, the reason why is because we're just looking for the quick fix. And I've been down that road many, many times, trust me. So like, do not feel bad about it if that's been you as well, because we've all been there, I'm sure. I'm sure every single person who's training today has been there. Now on the right side though, we can take the right vehicle. Okay. Now, how do we know what's right? What's the right vehicle? Well, it's got to be sustainable. Okay. That means like, yes, you can still eat the foods you love, guys. Like you can still eat out here and there, and you don't want to deprive yourself from stuff like that, especially like if like it's what you want to keep in your life. Like for me, I eat out literally every single weekend. I love ice cream. I love chocolate, and I probably have ice cream every single week. Yet I am good shape. I'm in good shape, right? And I'm literally a coach. But it's like I understand I have control of my food. Food doesn't control me. I literally have no emotions around my food. I am in control. Okay. And I'm going to show this at the end on where we're going to get you guys to. Okay. So number one, it's got to be sustainable. Okay. And sometimes, mind you, might not feel sustainable at first because you're just getting into that routine, right? I used to hate eating healthy food, but it's because I never ate it and I was so addicted to sugar and processed foods. Once I switched over and I stayed consistent, eventually it did a 180. Okay. Did not like processed foods, love real food. So sustainable at your own pace as well. You don't have to get there overnight. Okay. You can't expect yourself to train like a bodybuilder if you've never worked out before. It's got to be at our own pace. Okay. Especially when we're trying to build habits. Next thing, is it going to allow you to control? Is it going to allow you to actually learn what to do, or do you have to rely on it forever? Right? Like for me, my clients, I'm always trying to put out trainings in the client portal, so that way they have access to that for the rest of their lives. So that way they can truly take control of their health, their fitness, their weight loss. Okay? Because I want to make you the master of your own body. Okay? Now, that's a huge reason why, by the way, that I turned to online coaching besides getting fired because during COVID. But that was a huge, huge reason is because as a personal trainer, it's hard because that's their like, that's the way they get clients. They, bring people in, right? Is like you have to rely on the trainer over and over and over again. Okay. Now, the next thing is like, of course, is to get your results, right? You got to make sure it gets your result. Odds are, I mean, most time it should get your results. Like if you're going to go to any person, hopefully. But again, it's not about getting the results. It's about the way we get the results, right? Because we want to make sure it's sustainable. We want to make sure we can maintain it, learn that. Okay. So lastly, habit forming and align with you personally. Here's how it looks, guys. Here's an example. Where we're at so far. Okay. So right here, we've got the right vehicle, right? So we got the right system, we got the right routine, we're in the right vehicle towards our goals. We have our goals already written down, we know exactly where we want to head, right? Now our mental callus right here, if you can see in between, that's what keeps us pushing forward. Okay, so we get in the right routine, we got the meal prep going, we got our foods balanced out in a way that we enjoy, all aligned with our goals, also have some room, for some ice cream, stuff like that. And now we stay consistent. Oh, 3 weeks in, motivation is gone, but the mental callus is there. Okay. The lifestyle mindset is there. So we push through anyways. Keeps us going. And eventually, guess what? A freaking lifestyle. It becomes a part of who you are and what you do. Boom. Wait, though. Wait, sorry, it's on the next slide. Crap. But here's anyways. So here's a food example of what that looks like, okay? A lot of us think we need salad, 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 salad. No way. Again, I don't know when the last time I ate a salad was. We actually need balance, okay? Proper balance. Now, how did I do it? Okay. How do I do it? Well, I just literally, because here's the thing, the reason why I started all this stuff is because number one, I am very, very good when it comes to habits and understanding how the mind works. When it comes to habits and believing in ourselves, mindset, that is my jam. Okay. But I also just studied the 10%. Okay. Because it's like, if you look around, it's like, okay, all these people who are doing diets and keto and stuff like that, it's not working. So there's got to be a different way. And that's exactly what I did. Okay. And just spend years and years and years just being obsessed like this, just like any other passion you may have, right? So, and it all started with my parents' basement. So, here's the thing though, guys. Okay, so this was the big I was waiting for, okay? Is if we don't have the proper beliefs, it doesn't freaking matter if you're in the right vehicle. It doesn't matter, okay? Because our belief system at the end of the day is everything. And here it comes, all right? I'm so excited for this part. The wrong beliefs and the wrong mindset will cause you to fail every single time, okay? So here's what happened. When we have the wrong beliefs and the wrong mindset, it's literally a wall in front of our goals, okay? So we self-sabotage. Let's say you have a true belief in your mind that you are fat, okay? Let's say you believe that just you are fat, you are overweight, and you don't have the belief of like, okay, I just have fat on me, I am just have this extra weight. Let's say that you literally identify as that person who's overweight. Oh, I can't do that because I'm overweight. I can't do that. Oh, I love this. Like literally identify like that. Okay. Oh, 1 second here. I think my audio. Okay, perfect. We're good. Oops. So if you identify that, what happens is subconsciously, because 96% of our lives, how we function, how we are, is in our subconscious mind. Okay. We're only consciously here about 6% or so of the time. That's why, guys, you can literally drive to work in the morning and you can be daydreaming about all this crazy stuff. Yet you get to work without killing the neighbor's dog, without hitting any kids, because it's a habit to you. It's your subconscious mind. We're in airplane mode. Okay. We're just driving along, but we get there because we've done it so many times. So if you have this belief about yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never be able to do it, that you can't lose weight, guess what? You're going to prove yourself right over and over and over again because that's how your brain is literally designed. And that's why I love this stuff so much because when we get that right, everything changes. Okay. We just have to believe in that. So if you don't believe in yourself, if you have a doubt, if you allow your fears to take over, which means like let's say you want to do something, you know you should do it, but you let your emotions and your fears and your doubts hold you back, you're self-sabotaging. Okay? You're not serving your higher self of where you want to go, and you're choosing to stay stuck in the exact place you don't want to be in. But our brains will convince us on why it's so good not to change. And literally, the only reason why is because we are programmed, we are made and designed to survive. How do we survive? By doing things that we do all the time, consistently, the same routine, the same things, the same patterns. And then eventually we build habits around that because imagine how much energy that would take to always think about breathing, closing your eyes, right? That'd take way too much energy. So we just make it a habit. So we don't have so we can conserve that energy. Okay. So that's the issue, guys. I hope that makes sense. I'm just asking the universe and God to just speak through me to help you guys here. Okay. So again, if you have a true belief that you are overweight and you're fat, and you will find a way to make that come true over and over again, because your brain does not want to be wrong. Because you know why? Because that's uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. And guess what? When we're uncomfortable, alert, 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 anxiety, this is not safe. Okay. This is not safe. I need to go back to my comfort zone. That's why, like, for example, let's say, back way in the days when we had tribes and stuff, right? You would stay in the tribe because if you left the tribe, it's way too scary and your brain is designed to keep you alive and safe. Okay, so you go right back to the comfort zone. I hope that makes sense. Comment in the chat like something, let's go, or something like that. If that made sense, I hope that made sense for you guys. So again, it's literally like a barrier. All right. And then we go right back to the dealership. And it's like, oh, well, it must just be this diet that doesn't work for me or something. Right. Again, it's not. Okay. Oh, we did get a chat. So I'll check the chat after, guys. But I hope that made sense. I really hope, because that's one of my favorite parts I want to talk to you guys about. Let's move on. Why does this actually happen? Okay, so I just explained it, but let me go through it again with my beautiful drawing. Okay, guys, so here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing. Is a thought, and I bet y'all have never seen nothing like this before, right? Because you know what? They don't teach you this stuff. They don't teach you this stuff, the real deal, right? But here's what happens, okay? So why does this happen? Because thoughts and emotion, okay? So here's the thing. First, you have a thought, right? But if you hold that thought for 7 seconds, it starts to create emotion. Okay. And your brain can't tell between past, present, or future. So whenever you experience that thought, let's say you get cheated on, let's say you had a horrible experience, right? So let's say if I got cheated on in the past and I have a thought of that, and like this is like, let's say like you have a thought about that, right? And then you eventually you hold on to that thought and then you experience the emotion. Your body's going to go through that pain over and over again, even though it's not even happening, but it's in your brain. Okay. So thought plus for 7 seconds equals an emotion. Those together eventually creates a belief. Okay. So look at this little girl. Oh my gosh, a spider. Let's say someone told her that spiders are scary. She read stories, she watched movies about spiders killing people. And then she saw a spider in real life and it jumped out of nowhere and it scared her. Okay. And then maybe it bit her or something like that. And then she developed this belief that spiders are scary. And now she's literally terrified of spiders, like my brother. I got to call him out. My brother's terrified of spiders. So then she's terrified of spiders. This poor girl is so scared of spiders for the rest of her life just because of this one belief that happened when she was growing up. And why? Because her brain is developed and made to keep her safe, even if it's so irrational. Okay, because in Canada, guys, we don't have bad spiders unless you're allergic to them. So let's say she's a Canadian and it's just a normal house spider. It's like she has this irrational belief that spiders are going to kill her, and she just now has to deal with that for the rest of her life. Or a freaking a belief, all right, from a thought that had emotion. And eventually, what happens is our beliefs will eventually influence our actions. Okay, here's an example. I had a client one time. I helped them lose their weight. They became their most confident self. They've never believed in themselves their whole life. Their whole life, they've always looked down on themselves and felt bad about themselves, had no confidence. They pursued this goal. They accomplished their goal. They're stuck to their promises. They built confidence. Okay. What happened was that person quit their job and pursued their dream. Okay. Why? Because they changed their belief system. Before, they never believed in themselves, right? So they just did whatever. They didn't follow their dream. But after they believed in themselves, and then they actually followed their dream. Okay. And that is how beliefs influence your actions. Okay. Here's another example. If you're a religious person, right? You go to church, you pray to God. It's because that is your belief system, right? So, anyways, actions eventually over time, consistently over time, will create a habit. Okay. And you do it, eventually becomes a habit. Our habits create, look at this male and look at this guy and girl working out. And eventually, your habits create you, who you are, right? You have a habit of working out all the time. Odds are, eventually down the road, you're going to be pretty fit. Okay. Boom. Hope that was a good nugget right there for you guys. Now let's move on to the next. Okay. So here's an example overall of why 90% of people who lose weight gain it back. Okay. They get enough pain to change, right? So this poor girl here, and this is just what happened to me, guys. I was pinching my stomach, very uncomfortable, insecure, not feeling confident. So eventually, the pain of her staying the same became greater. So she wanted to change. She goes to the dealership. She looks online, and she found the keto diet. I always hate on keto, guys, but like teach their own. But anyways, so she starts the keto diet. She starts the keto diet, we'll say, right? and she's losing the weight. She's feeling really good about herself. You know, I'm on this diet, I'm losing weight. It's awesome. Guys, again, I just want to tell you, like, I've been there. All right. I've been there. So there's no shame in this at all. Like, there's no shame in this at all. Okay. Because I've been there. You know, a lot of us have been there. My clients have been there too. Like, there's no shame in this at all. But anyways, this is what happens. So you know, online they'll promote this magical pill. Okay, keto, perfect. I'll drop 20 pounds in a month, and here we go. And she starts losing weight. She's feeling good, and then yes, oh look at that, she hit her goal. So eventually she completed it. She's done. She hit her goal, and then she starts going back to her old ways. Okay, she starts maybe having the extra drinks. Maybe she has the pizza, and she starts, you know, incorporating carbs again, and she goes right back to her old habits. And then eventually, though, over time, she started gaining the weight back. She's like, what the hell is going on? I just lost this weight. What's going on? What's wrong with my body? Is it my hormones? Is there something wrong with me? Like what's going on? Why am I gaining this weight back? And then she goes right back to where she started. Okay. And guess what? This poor girl, oh, it kills my heart, guys, because I see this all the time. But this poor girl is going to blame it on herself. She's going to be upset with herself. She's going to hate on herself. And she's going to destroy her belief in herself, her confidence, when in reality, it's just the same cycle over and again. And and eventually she's going to get enough pain and she's going to try to change again. And it's going to be over and over again. And that is 90% of people. And that is like, I need to change that. Like, because that is so wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just, it's sad. I do not want to see that happen to people. Okay, like it is just so frustrating because I'm telling you, on the other side of this battle, when you get to that point when you feel amazing, your skin, your body, it is everything. It is more than you could ever imagine. That's for sure. Let's just do a quick audio check. By the way, when I say audio check, I'm just checking to see if like any of my clients text me and say, "Hey, hey, the audio's not working, but we're good." Okay, perfect, perfect. So moving onward. Okay, how do we change this? How do we change this, guys? How do we change this pattern once and for all? Okay, number one is through consistency slash patience. Okay, I had to learn this the hard way, but this is how I like to explain it. If you go and you plant a seed, okay, if you want to go a bamboo tree, you plant the seed in the ground, right? If you have no patience and no consistency, you're going to keep digging it up. All right, you're going to keep digging it up, and guess what? Bamboo trees, they take a long time. They take quite a while. We're underground. They're growing out the roots, and they don't pop above the surface for a while. Okay, so if we don't have the patience, we're going to keep digging it up, and it's going to keep ruining it over and over again, and we're not going to get anywhere. Right? We'll never actually make any kind of change. So we need to be patient because eventually, if we plant that seed and we give it time and patience and nurture it, it's going to blow out of the ground one day. That bamboo tree is going to go busting through the ground. Okay. The next thing is we got to do the rewiring process. We got to change this up here, our belief system, our mindset, the whole 9 yards. Okay. So the way I say it, work on your mind as hard as you're going to work on your muscles. Okay. Pushing that mindset right there. Okay. Believing yourself, talking good about yourself. When you beat yourself down, pick yourself up, all those little things. Next one is our actions. Okay. So law of gestation, which means patience, the law of manifestation, law of attraction, okay, which is like in our mind doing the inner work, and then the law of action, putting in the work to get there. Okay. Want to grow a bamboo tree? You got to believe that's going to happen. You got to plant it. You got to be patient, and you got to take action by watering it, whatever you got to do to grow a bamboo tree. Okay. And boom, that's a simple formula right there. Now, here's an example, okay? So let's say someone, week 1, they start their fit journey. Again, no results, right? But they're patient. They keep taking action. Week 14, boom, they're making some amazing progress, okay? They keep going because now in week 26, they start actually believing in themselves. I call this, for my clients, the mindset shift, okay? I call it the shift. And this is usually around a 2.5 month in where they have this major shift happen, okay? So eventually, the shift happens. Okay. And then eventually, look at that, week 44, it's just their lifestyle. They're at their goal and it's just who they are because they've been doing it over and over again. Okay. Makes sense? So, 1 second here. I think are my headphones dying? No. Okay. We're good. Okay. So, last one here, 9 mindsets that hold us back, y'all. All right. Jump right into this. 1, 2, 3, all or nothing mindset. Okay. The all or nothing mindset. And I want to share with you, these 9 mindsets are typically linked to anxiety and depression. Okay. This is from like a research novel. Now, all or nothing mindset means like when you go 0 to 100. right? It's okay. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna work out at all, and now I'm gonna work out 7 days a week. All that, right? And that's most times because we're trying to get over the overnight, right? We just want to get away from the pain as quick as possible. That's literally it. It's like, okay, I'm sick of this feeling this way, so I'm just going to work as hard as possible to get away from this feeling. But then we're going to get burnt out. We're not going to build the habits. We're going to go right back to square one, right? We're setting ourselves up for failure rather than success. Number two, future predict. What's when you like to predict in the future? Oh, every single time I lose weight, I always gain it back. Does that mindset serve you? No, no, you're predicting a future that doesn't exist yet. All right. Why not think for the best rather than think for the worst? Because it's all up to you at the end of the day. Number three, magnifying your issues. Okay. Let's say you messed up on your meal planning. And this is one thing I always stress with my clients because I think a lot of people struggle with this. Magnifying our issues. Okay. Let's say like Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving. Let's say you didn't lose weight. Let's say, maybe you gained a pound or two, you didn't actually, it's just water weight. But let's say you gained a pound or two on the scale, and then you magnify the issue, like, oh, I suck, or it's just like, oh, this is horrible, like, oh my God, like this, making it such a big issue. But if you think about it, that's 1 week of your life. Okay, you got 51 other weeks of the year. Don't ruin it by that 1 week. Okay, and that's why we got to be kind to ourselves and have these proper mindsets in place. Because if you allow yourself to magnify that issue, ruin it, and you quit on your fit journey just from that one mindset, if you would have just pursued on for like 2 more weeks, you would have forgot about that. And I tell my clients this all the time. It's like, you guys, when you finally lose this weight and you're on that beach and you're feeling good in your skin and you're looking down your legs and you're like, holy crap, the cellulite's gone, like it's not showing. I'm fitting in my clothing again. I feel so confident in my skin. When you're at that point, and then it's like, do you really think you're gonna think back on the weeks of like, oh, I messed up. I ate that chocolate at night. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that I had an extra glass of wine. No. All right. Yes, keep yourself accountable, but don't like literally dig yourself into the ground and quit and magnify the issue. Okay. You don't deserve that. Number four, negative filtering. Okay. This is when we have a hard time seeing the positives. You guys ever have like be in a room and then this person, like this negative person walks in and they almost like change the energy. And it's like, oh, this person's here. And it's like they're just kind of like this negative vibe. That's a negative filter. Okay. It's when we have a hard time seeing the good and we're too focused on the bad. So it's like that painting. I should have posted that picture. It's like that painting of like the two guys were on a bus, and one's like nothing. He's like one guy, he's choosing to look in the dark, right? And the other guy, he's choosing to look in the light. He's looking at the beautiful view. Okay. And both are on the same bus. So it's like that negative filter. Last one, five, is emotional reasoning. We reason with our emotions, which we all know our emotions are wonky up and down. And if we always emotionally mad, let's say you're stressed out and mad, should you react when you're stressed out and mad? No. Okay. So that's why meditation, little side note, meditation is key for that. Okay. Number six, seven, eight, and nine, labeling ourselves. I'm fat. I suck. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. That doesn't serve you. Okay. Labeling yourself does not serve you, and it's not true. You're putting these fake ideas that came out of nowhere, it's just the world. Okay, maybe it's some beliefs when you were growing up, and then you're labeling yourself, and you don't deserve that. That's not going to serve you. Number seven, when we jump to conclusions too quickly. Okay, we make these assumptions, we jump to the conclusion way too quickly, when we actually have no idea what's going to happen. Number eight is mind reading others. Let's say you're in the gym and you're just trying to get into working out, right? And let's say someone's smiling and they look at you at the same time, and you guys catch eyes, and you automatically think that person's looking at me because I'm out of shape. No, we have no idea what that person's thinking. They're probably in La La Land. Okay, that we have no idea. So minding others, like, and I used to have very bad social anxiety, like when I was in high school. It's because I had no confidence, no trust in myself, because I didn't stick to my promises. I ate very bad, and I wasn't feeling good in my skin. And I always thought that too. Oh, this person thinks this of me. But guess what? The reality is just because I thought that way of myself. Whoa, shocker, right? It's like I thought of myself not good enough. I thought of myself ugly. I didn't look good. And I used to think, oh, that person's looking at me and they're thinking this about me. And it's like, actually, no. I'm thinking of this about myself and I'm projecting into the world. Okay. Now, that's a good way to tell too about how our mindsets are, right? The last one is discount the positives. Oh, hey, you lost 2 pounds this week. Yeah, but it was just because, I was sick. Or hey, you lost this weight this week, or you did this week. Oh yeah, but it's just because this or this. We try to brush off our wins. Guys, focus on those freaking wins. You know, when you lose a pound, celebrate that pound. When you lose an inch, celebrate that inch. When you maybe you didn't lose any weight, but you did all of your workouts that week, celebrate the wins, because when we focus on the negatives, it doesn't do any good for us, right? It's like, oh, I worked out all week. I stuck to my meal plan. I prepped my meals. I took my kids to their sports. I showed up as the best parent I could be, but I didn't lose a pound. It's like, you had so many wins. Why would you cut yourself short like that? Okay, so those are the 9 beliefs that hold us back, y'all. I'm gonna record this, so if you can take a picture, but I'll record this and share it with the world after, so you'll be good. Now, recap real quick, all right? Mindset and beliefs, mental callus, right vehicle. 3 main things that transform your entire life, and that is the freedom with your body and your health. Okay? Because here's the thing, guys. You are the artist, and your body is the art. Okay? And how does an artist get good with painting? I suck at art, by the way. But how, as you guys can see, how does an artist get good with painting? They practice, they learn, they hire mentors, okay? They get help, they practice, they practice, they practice. And they're not in a rush to get perfect. They're not beating themselves up when they mess up, because they know if that they just keep drawing and they keep practicing because they love it, which means you should fucking love yourself, okay? I'm sorry for my language, but you should love yourself so much where you want the best for yourself, okay? And that's why we got to fall in love with personal development and work on ourselves. Fall in love with that journey. When you don't want to work out, it's because you're thinking about working out as like this dreadful thing, right? I do the same thing. I got to watch myself. It's like, I don't want to work out today. Why don't I actually want to work out? Because it's going to do so many good things for me. Why do I not want to work out? Because I don't want to sweat. I don't want to have to go to the gym. And it's just because I'm just being lazy, and I'm forgetting that, hey, working out is going to be a therapy for me. All right. This is going to be good for me. I can't wait to get to the gym. Okay. Perspective. So you are the artist and your body's the art. And I promise you guys, I promise you one thing. If you refuse to quit on your journey, if you shift that mindset and the beliefs, and if you follow what I say today, you're going to make an unbelievable transformation in your life. Okay. And I'm telling you right now, and I could bet you all the money in the world, if you do this and you come out on the other side, you're going to realize every single ounce of sweat, okay, energy, money, whatever it is that you put into this journey is all worth it. Go all in on yourself and never look back. No plan B, okay? Because plan B is literally planning to fail on plan A, okay? Plan B literally plans to fail on plan A, okay? I remember, example, when I was building Coach Hayward, nobody believed in me. Everyone shit on me. Everyone hated on me. And I had the college call me because my parents signed me up for college because they want me to go become a welder, which is fine because they want me to be safe. And they told me to do that, but that wasn't my purpose. That wasn't my journey, right? So I called the college and I said, cancel the application. And I went all in on this. And I just had this trust and this belief and this faith in myself. And you guys have to have that into yourself. Never, ever give up on yourself, because you are so powerful and you can 100% do this. And I promise you, you cross that line of sand for good and you follow these steps, you're going to make an unbelievable transformation. Okay. Now, thank you guys for watching. So for my clients, you guys have this already. I'm going to stop this after and I'll answer your questions in the chat if you have any questions. But for those who are watching, here's a few gifts for you guys. All right. So I'm glad you came here. And by the way, too, if any of you do want some help, or if you feel like you need some help, you can contact me there below. You can message me CH on any platform, basically. At Coach Hayward is my Instagram, or you can email me. But here's some gifts for you guys. All right. So boom. Okay. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4. 4 recipes for you guys, completely free. So 5 ingredient recipes pack. Again, all my clients, you guys got this and more in your member portal. And if you haven't seen that yet, it's in also the chat in the CH family group chat on the app. But for those who are watching, healthy smoothie pack, you can have a low carb recipe pack, you can have high protein recipe pack, 5 ingredients as well. And if you want to download them, there you go. Click that link. So just take your phones real quickly, take a picture of that there. Or copy that link or the scan. I'll leave it up here for about 30 seconds or so, and I'm just going to check the chat.